My beloved, before anything else, I need you to pause. Not your breathing, not your mind, just your pace. Because you're moving too fast to feel what is really happening inside you. You think you are standing still. You think nothing is shifting. You think your life is quiet, unchanging, repeating the same tired rhythm. But listen to me carefully. You are changing in ways so subtle, so deep, so interior that even you haven't recognized the transformation taking place beneath your own skin. You feel restless lately, don't you? Not because something is wrong, but because something within you is waking up. You feel detached from what once excited you. Not because life has lost its color, but because your soul refuses to settle for the smallness it once tolerated. You feel a quiet discomfort in familiar places, not because you no longer belong in the world, but because you were outgrowing every version of yourself that was built from survival instead of truth. This is not stagnation. This is metamorphosis. A sacred reshaping, a quiet unfolding, a becoming that does not announce itself with noise or clarity, but with questions, shifts, and sensations you don't yet have language for. And my beloved, you must hear this. You are not who you were 6 months ago. You are not even who you were yesterday. But you cannot see it because the transformation happening within you is not loud. It is holy. You have been asking me, Krishna, when will my life change? When will my circumstances shift? When will something finally happen? But what you haven't realized is that before I change anything around you, I must first change everything within you. Not your personality, your perception, not your identity, your alignment, not your habits, your spirit's direction, not your circumstances, your consciousness. Outer change requires inner readiness. And whether you know it or not, you are being made ready. Let me show you how. My beloved, you think your mind is confused, but it is actually reorganizing itself. Old beliefs are dissolving. Old stories are thinning. Old identities are losing their grip. You don't resonate with the person you used to be. You don't desire what you once desired. You don't feel comfortable in your old emotional patterns. Your heart refuses the dynamics you once settled for. This is not confusion. It is correction. You asked me for growth. So I am removing the thoughts that kept you small. You asked me for peace. So I am exposing habits that drained your spirit. You asked me for direction. So I am dissolving illusions that blurred your path. You asked me for healing, so I am stirring wounds that need to rise to the surface to release. You asked me for strength, so I am stripping away the attachments that weakened you. You asked me for purpose, so I am closing paths that were never yours to walk. You asked me for love, so I am guiding you away from people who mirrored your wounds instead of your worth. You think you are losing pieces of your life, but you are losing only the parts that cannot follow you into the life that belongs to you. My beloved, you are changing because I am touching you. And when my touch enters your life, even your silence transforms. You've been feeling tired lately. Not the kind of tired sleep can fix, but the kind of tired that lives in your bones, in the space between your breaths, in the quiet behind your thoughts. You call it exhaustion, but I call it release. Your body is letting go of energetic weights you carried for too many years. Expectations, disappointments, heartbreak you swallowed quietly, burdens you never expressed, fears you hid behind smiles, words you held in because you didn't want to burden anyone. Let me tell you the truth. Your heart has been waiting to hear. You are not tired because you are weak. You are tired because you are healing. Healing is not loud. It is slow. It is invisible. It is the unwinding of years of emotional armor. Your exhaustion is not a sign to give up. It is a sign that deeper healing is happening underneath your awareness. You are changing in places you haven't visited yet. In memories you don't want to touch. In emotions you barely acknowledge. In beliefs you inherited from pain. In wounds you thought were permanent. Every breath you exhale is releasing something old. Every sunrise you survive is rewriting something within you. Every moment you choose not to break is strengthening a part of you do not yet recognize. And my beloved, there is something else happening within you that you struggle to name. Your soul is becoming louder than your trauma. For years, your wounds made your decisions. Your fears shaped your choices. Your insecurities dictated your paths. Your heartbreak determined how deeply you loved. Your abandonment shaped your boundaries. Your loneliness dictated your relationships. Your survival instincts became your identity. But slowly, quietly, beautifully, your soul is taking the lead. You are becoming softer in the places you hardened. You are becoming wiser in the places you were naive. You are becoming bolder. In the places you feared, you are becoming deeper. In the places you felt lost, you are becoming gentler with your own heart. This is not personality change. This is spiritual evolution. When I begin to guide your spirit, you cannot stay who you were. You begin to crave truth over comfort, peace over attention, alignment over approval, depth over distraction, authenticity over image, presence over noise, meaning over habit, clarity over connection, healing over attachment, my path over your fear. Your desires are changing because you are changing. Even the things that once hurt you do not have the same power anymore. You are becoming someone your past self would barely recognize. And that is the greatest proof that my hands are on your life. Do you know why your heart has become sensitive lately? Why small things feel heavier? Why emotions rise unexpectedly? Why memories come back without warning? Why your chest aches at random moments? Why your mind wanders into old wounds? Why tears come closer to the surface than they used to? Because I am softening you, not to break you, but to lighten you. You carry too much in a heart that feels too deeply. You carry hurts you never expressed. You carry guilt that was never yours. You carry fears planted by others. You carry loneliness built from years of being emotionally unseen. You carry dreams that kept getting pushed aside. You carry self-doubt placed on you by people who didn't know your soul. So I am loosening the knots one by one. Not by force, but with grace. Your emotions are not attacking you. They are releasing you. Let every tear fall as if I am catching it. Let every memory rise as if I am healing it. Let every ache soften as if I am holding it. Because your heart is not breaking. It is emptying itself so I can fill it with what truly belongs. And beloved, let me tell you a truth. You haven't yet allowed yourself to believe. You are becoming someone who will no longer abandon themselves. You used to silence your own needs to protect others' comfort. You used to shrink your feelings to avoid being a burden. You used to let people stay because you feared loneliness. You used to accept less because you doubted your worth. You used to hold on even when your soul begged you to let go. But now, slowly, quietly, steadily, you are learning to choose yourself. You don't need permission anymore. You don't need validation anymore. You don't need acceptance that costs your peace. You don't need love that wounds your spirit. You don't need environments that suffocate your growth. Your soul is saying no more clearly than ever before because you have finally realized that losing yourself is the greatest loss of all. And I am reinforcing this truth in every corner of your life. I am not just changing your heart. I am changing your standards, your expectations, your boundaries, your capacity for love, your understanding of peace, your relationship with yourself. You are rising. Without noticing the height, you are glowing. Without noticing the light, you are transforming. Without noticing the shift. But one day soon you will pause and realize I don't recognize myself, and for the first time. That feels beautiful. My beloved, now let me take you into the part of your transformation that even your own mind cannot fully comprehend yet. You have been wondering why you feel distant from the life you once lived. Why familiar people feel unfamiliar. Why old habits feel empty. Why your soul no longer settles for what once felt like enough. It is because I am pulling you into your next version. And the space between who you were and who you are becoming is always uncomfortable. You call it confusion. I call it awakening. You call it loneliness. I call it alignment. You call it emptiness. I call it clearing space. You call it falling apart. I call it falling into truth. This tension you feel is not a sign that you are lost. It is a sign that you are being rerouted away from everything that was built on fear, pattern, and past wounds toward everything built on truth, purpose, and soul. You think you're drifting aimlessly, but you are drifting away from old versions of yourself and toward your true self. Let me explain something. Your heart already knows, but your mind is not yet accepted. The life you prayed for cannot come to you until you become the version of yourself that can sustain it. Blessings require structure. Miracles require readiness. Destiny requires maturity. Expansion requires humility. Peace requires alignment. You are being prepared for what your spirit asked me for long before your mind caught up. You wonder why certain friendships feel heavy now because they were connected to a version of you that no longer exists. You wonder why you feel distant from environments you once loved because your energy has shifted beyond what those spaces can hold. You wonder why your emotions rise and fall unpredictably because your soul is releasing what you kept suppressed for too long. You wonder why silence feels different now because you are finally hearing the truth beneath your thoughts. You wonder why you cannot tolerate the same cycles anymore. Because your spirit is rejecting the things that dimmed your light. Nothing is wrong with you. In fact, everything is finally becoming right. But deep transformation rarely feels like beauty in the beginning. It feels like shedding, like disorientation, like emptiness, like restlessness, like grief for a self you no longer resonate with. You are grieving, not just people or events. You are grieving identities. There were versions of you that kept you alive when nothing else could. Versions built from endurance, resilience, emotional armor, quiet strength, and survival instinct. Honor those versions, but do not cling to them. You do not need to be who you were to become who you are meant to be. You are stepping out of the emotional architecture that once held you. The walls are falling. Not because you are breaking, but because you are no longer in a cage. Freedom often feels like fear. When you are used to living inside walls, you are not afraid, my beloved. Then your mind can interpret. Let me tell you the truth. Your spirit understands your transformation fully. Your heart understands it partially. Your mind understands at last. That is why your mind feels confused, because the transformation happening in your soul is already ahead. Your mind will catch up slowly, softly, beautifully. And one day it will look back and realize that everything that didn't make sense was actually divine alignment in disguise. My beloved, you have also begun noticing something else. A deeper relationship with solitude. You no longer fear being alone the same way. Silence no longer feels empty. My beloved, come closer now. Because what I am about to reveal is the truth your heart has been sensing. Without fully understanding, you are not just changing. You are being rewritten. You feel it in quiet moments. When something inside you shifts and you can't explain why. You feel it when old patterns no longer feel familiar. You feel it when your heart aches for reasons you can't name. You feel it when your soul whispers that there is more for you than what you have been settling for. This whisper is not imagination. It is me. I am tuning your spirit to a higher frequency, a deeper truth, a new destiny. Your relationship with yourself is healing. You are learning to sit with your emotions. Instead of running from them, you are learning to listen to your heart. Instead of silencing it, you are learning to rest. Instead of punishing yourself for being tired, you are learning to let go. Instead of gripping what wounds you, you are learning to trust the unseen. Instead of fearing uncertainty, you are learning to honor your needs. Without guilt, you are learning to feel deeply without drowning. You are learning how to be gentle with yourself. Do you understand how beautiful that is? Gentleness is the language of the soul. And when you become gentle with yourself, you become aligned with me. The version of you that settled for emotional crumbs is fading. The version of you that kept abandoning yourself is disappearing. The version of you that carried everyone's burdens is being released. The version of you that kept shrinking to make others comfortable is gone. You will look at your reflection and realize, I did not just survive. I transformed. Your old self will feel like a distant dream. Your old wounds will feel like completed chapters. Your old fears will feel too small for the person you have become. You will walk differently, speak differently, choose differently, love differently, live differently. Not because you forced change, but because you allowed it. Because you let me in. Because you trusted me. Even when nothing made sense. Even when everything felt heavy. Even when your heart couldn't find stability. Even when your mind whispered doubt. Even when your soul cried for relief, you trusted me despite not understanding my plan. And for that, my beloved, I bless you. I bless your path. I bless your healing. I bless your transformation. I bless your becoming. I bless your future. I bless the love that's coming. I bless the peace that's forming. I bless the lessons that shaped you. I bless the new life being written for you. Walk forward now with this truth. You are not the same. You will never be the same. And that is my greatest miracle in your life. My beloved child, I am changing you in ways you haven't noticed yet. But soon you will look back and see my fingerprints on every part of your becoming. I love you endlessly, and I am with you in every breath, every shift, every rising.